Good morning everyone, and welcome to the inside of my car. You join me on my commute into work on this very fine Monday morning. Now, I'm hoping this footage will turn out okay. Unfortunately, the roads of Buckinghamshire are very, very bumpy. Well, not all roads, the roads I'm driving on at least. I have to cut across the countryside to get to work, and yeah, they're very bumpy. So you may be able to tell that my voice sounds a little different, and that is because unfortunately I am sick. I have dreaded man flu. I started getting it last week. It was quite light. I thought I was getting better, so I was like, oh thank God, you know, I've dodged a bullet. And then over this past weekend it's just gotten much worse. So yeah, now I'm a snotty, coughing mess. But I wanted to make a video, just really an update video, and I also wanted to use this as an opportunity to test out this camera with this lens in this car, just to see how the footage turns out on a drive like this, because if it's not too bad, then it's something that I could do more of in the future. So other than being ill, not really much to update you on about me, but I thought it would be good to just talk about, you know, a few things that have been on my mind. So right off the bat, I just need to know, am I the only one who thinks that the new Vantage isn't that pretty? I see many different YouTubers have posted videos about the car, many of the car channels, I guess, people like CarWow, etc. They've all posted their reviews as well. Now, firstly, from the front, I think the car looks like the new Mazda MX-5. I just need to know that I'm not alone, because every time I see a Mazda MX-5, I now think of the Vantage. Second of all, I wasn't that impressed with the two little pea shooter exhausts that are hanging out the back of that car. I just think it looks really weird. It looks a little out of proportion at the back. I mean, I guess the way the exhausts look comes secondary to how they sound, and that is one thing that that car definitely has, is a great sound. And then the interior as well, I wasn't blown away by the interior. I don't know, it was way too much going on for me. Now, that could just be my, you know, German car biased that I'm talking from, and you know, my dream car, my ultimate kind of dream car would be, you know, either a GT3 or a GT3 RS. So again, that's quite minimal inside, so it's all about preference, but I'm just not really a big fan, and I feel as though quite a few people were saying the same thing. No one was really saying, yeah, but is it actually that nice looking, or is it that great to drive? Carfection, they did actually mention the interior being a bit too busy, but I guess driving the car is very different from watching a YouTube video about it as well, so, you know, my opinion doesn't hold much weight in that sense. I also watched Joe's video about the BMW M4 CS yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed that video. I thought it was great, all of the different angles he got. Him driving the car was epic. You know, he is such a great driver, so it's always cool to see him really hanging a car around corners. Historically, I've never really been a BMW fan, which I haven't hidden on this channel. However, the older BMWs, such as an E46 M3 or the old V10 M5, those cars, that generation of cars, I am all game for. And if I had the money, I'd definitely have a manual E46 M3 in my garage. And I did actually test drive a V8 M3 about a year before I got my S3 actually, and you know, one of the big issues with those cars is that they're not, I don't want to say they're not fast because that is not true, but they don't feel fast, and you really have to give it some to get them going. And you'll have like little turbo hatchbacks just, you know, having you off the lights all the time because they can put the power down. And I know that doesn't matter, you know, if you get if a Leon Cupra is beating you off the lights, I know that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of driving the car, owning the car, etc. But for me, I don't know, I don't know. But anyway, the video was great. The current generation of M4 and M3 look incredible on the road. I think that there aren't many cars that have that same presence as they do. They just look immense on the road. And that M4 sounded beautiful. I did notice in Joe's video actually, when he started the car, I guess it was a cold start, it did sound like a bag of spanners, which I had an M3, an F80 M3 for a little while, and that always sounded the same in the morning as well. It just rattled and just sounded horrible. Now, when I had that M3, you know, I had two for long test drives. The first one, there was a fault with the brake disc shield, or heat shield I think they call it. It came loose on both front wheels, so it was this really horrible like mechanic whirring sound. And then the second one I had, I just couldn't really get into the car. I don't know why, I just didn't gel with it. I think I was a bit hesitant to put my foot down in it. I'm not sure, I don't know. Like, it's probably just me being a bit of a wuss, but I just didn't enjoy that experience at all. So, which really frustrated me because of how they look on the road. I really wanted one. I was like, oh man. I went to BMW in Tring and I looked at a white M3 competition package that was absolutely incredibly beautiful. Oh, sound like Mr. JW there. And it wasn't that much more money than this. That was a very nice car, but I just couldn't get on with how they drove. But yeah, I thought the video was really good, and I think I very nearly commented actually to say, I think you may have converted me back to BMW, because the video was just great. Like, it really did do justice for the M4, and yeah, it was a beautiful car. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about before. Oh yes, so the whole point of the video. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm a little sick at the moment, so that has delayed my original planned video. So here's what's going to happen. This video is going live today, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to film the 5 things I love about this car. So I'm going to do that first. I already have it all planned out, and then I'm going to do the 5 things I hate. So I know that these videos have become a little bit corny now because every YouTuber does them about every car, but I thought it would be good for you to see what I love and what I hate about this car, because there are a few things that really fucking piss me off about this car. So I'm going to talk about those, and then after that I'm thinking about doing some kind of like road trip, or just driving to some different roads somewhere. I haven't put too much thought into it yet, so I don't know exactly where I'm going, but all I know is I want to go on a little road trip somewhere, to some new roads, some nice B roads, windy roads, and just get some really cool footage of me driving the car. And when I say driving the car, I really mean driving the car as opposed to me just driving in traffic. Although, here's a quick preview. This is one thing that I love about this car, is how it travels through the power band and the sound changes. So I'm currently doing 50 miles an hour, and you can just hear a lot of just road roar, but when I put my foot down, God, that sound doesn't get boring. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. I appreciate if you've made it this far. I also appreciate all of you who are subscribing, who have already subscribed, people who are watching my videos, liking them, disliking them, commenting with positive or negative thoughts. I appreciate all of it. It's all about open transparency and engagement. And yeah, I know there were a few comments that I haven't yet got the chance to respond to, which I'm fully aware of, so I'll be doing that this week too. I hope you all have a good week and enjoy some of this weather if it holds out. Until the next video, peace.